All right, jumping into a deep dive today, and you know me, I love a good mystery. But the one we're tackling, it's not just good, it's practically legendary. The Zodiac Killer. Late 60s, Northern California, think peace, love. And then suddenly, this darkness descends.
Yeah, and it's weird because when you say the Zodiac, everyone's heard it, right? Like it's almost a pop culture thing now. But what gets lost sometimes is these were real people. This wasn't a movie, it was someone's life ripped apart. December 1968, that's where it starts. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, young couple, out on a date.
And just like that, gone. It's like the bogeyman became real.
It's like he came out of nowhere. But then July 69, it happens again. Darlene Ferrin, Michael Mageau. This time, thankfully, Michael survives. Gives us some clues, but also, can you imagine surviving that only to have it become this huge news story? The pressure of remembering, of being the one who lived.
And as if the killings themselves weren't terrifying enough, that's when the letters start, right? This is what, July 69?
Yeah, it's like he wants the attention. The Zodiac, he sends these cryptic messages, ciphers, to the Vallejo Times-Herald, San Francisco Chronicle, the Examiner, taunting them, claiming responsibility. And here's the thing, some of these, they weren't just rambling. They had actual details, things only the killer would know.
Okay, so we got to talk about these ciphers. Are we talking like Da Vinci Code levels of complexity here?
Some of them, yeah, seriously complex. First one, the 408 character cipher, a school teacher and his wife. They actually cracked that one. Can you imagine sitting at your kitchen table and suddenly you're solving a code that stumped everyone else?
And what'd it say? You can't just bring up a solved code and not tell us.
Let's just say it confirmed what everyone was already thinking. This guy, he enjoyed what he was doing. But there are others, like the 340 character one. It's like staring into a void. Linguists, code breakers, even artificial intelligence, still no definitive answers. It's almost like the Zodiac was playing with everyone, you know?
Yeah.
Like, catch me if you can, but you probably can't.
Which makes the whole thing even more terrifying, this intelligence behind it. But then, it wasn't just letters. September 69, Lake Berryessa, Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell. This time, he's not just attacking in the dark, it's broad daylight. And he's wearing a costume.
A hooded costume. And on it, a symbol. A circle with a cross through it, almost like he's branding himself.
Yeah.
That symbol, it's on the letters, even found on a car, thought to be connected to one of the killings. It's like he understood, even back then, how powerful a symbol can be, how it gets burned into your mind.
Talk about chilling. And of course, the media, they ate it up, right? It was the perfect storm, the killings, the mystery, the letters. It was like something out of a horror movie, except it was real.
And it fed into itself. The more coverage there was, the more the Zodiac seemed to up the ante. It made people afraid. And in a way, that fear, that was him winning, controlling the narrative, even though nobody knew who he was.
Speaking of controlling the narrative, we got to talk about Arthur Leigh Allen. He was the guy, right? For a long time, everyone thought it was him. What made him suspect, number one?
Oh, man, where do you even begin? Allen, he'd been a teacher. Creepy enough given the Zodiac's costume, right? But there's more. He owned a Zodiac brand watch, had this weird misspelling in his writing that matched one of the letters. There were even rumors about a bloody knife found in his car.
So, open and shut case, what happened?
Not even close. The fingerprints never matched. Handwriting analysis, they could never quite pin it on him. It was always circumstantial. They were so close, but that last piece of the puzzle wouldn't fit. And back then, forget DNA evidence. It was the 60s, early 70s. Forensics wasn't what it is today.
So what now? They've still got the evidence, right? Are they doing anything with it now that technology's caught up?
That's the thing about cold cases these days. It's like a whole new playing field. They've been trying to get DNA profiles off the original evidence, envelopes, stamps, anything that might have his saliva. Plus, you've got all these online communities, armchair detectives. They pore over every DPL, come up with new theories.
The internet. Never underestimate the internet when it comes to true crime. But even with all that, all the new tech, all the theories, you think we'll ever actually know? Who was the Zodiac?
If I had that answer, I'd be a very famous or maybe very rich person. Maybe science will give us the answer, or maybe it's one of those internet sleuths who connects the final dot. But even if the mystery is never solved, the Zodiac case, it forces us to ask these uncomfortable questions about the nature of evil, about the media's role, about how much we don't know.
And maybe that's what makes it stick with us. This idea that it could happen again, that there are cases happening right now that 50 years from now, someone else will be sitting here talking about.
Exactly. It's a chilling thought. The Zodiac case, it's like a reminder, right? That some mysteries, they linger unsolved. It makes you wonder what other puzzles are out there waiting for someone to come along and crack the code.
And who knows, maybe that someone is listening right now.